How to Train Your Dragon 2025 is the best live-action remake, and that's like being the best-smelling dog turd. This Viking fantasy movie was Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V by the same director, Dean DeBlois. I said his name wrong in the video, and I'm so sorry. Anyway, this movie has already made $197.8 million worldwide on a $150 million budget, and it's not hard to see why. It is exactly How to Train Your Dragon with worse visuals and performances. It does keep the same emotional beats while looking real, and I guess that's what audiences wanted, just the same thing over and over again. And what the studio wanted to promote their theme park. Anyway, here's our full review from the Binge Warmers podcast. Welcome back to Binge Warmers. My name is Hopper, the Dragon Topper.
And I'm Steven.
We watched How to Train Your Dragon this week.
Before we even start discussing it, rate it out of 10. Right now.
6.5.
I was going to go 7.5.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
It's right down the middle for me. I thought, it doesn't, and I kind of go back and forth on this with the live action stuff because we did a whole thing about this with Disney. This was obviously better than the rest of those.
A lot better than a lot of those.
But the thing is, it didn't try anything different. It didn't actually do anything. For me, it didn't warrant existing.
There were slight differences.
Yeah, but like
the clans coming together, it was like a conglomerate of Viking clans. It wasn't just one Viking clan.
But my point is, I guess for that, it's like, what does that matter toward this overall story any more than?
No, not really.
So it was just an extra kind of a fat. Like it's a fat that needed to be cut or could have been cut.
Could have been cut, but
We also got the Jonah Hill character from the cartoon. His character in this has like a daddy issue kind of thing with Peter Serafinowicz.
So funny, dude.
That was the only other thing where I was like, this is different, but like it doesn't add anything.
Son up there.
I just kept laughing because like the kid clearly wanted his dad's approval and he never got it, and then I guess spoiler alert for How to Train Your Dragon 2025.
If you've seen the first one, you know exactly what this is going to be. It's nothing. It's not treading new ground like we've said.
If you've read any reviews, it just says 1-to-1, like Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V.
And here's the thing: after we've done all the Disney stuff, I came to the conclusion that's what I wanted. Here's the thing about this movie: I wanted this 10 to 15 years from now.
It would have probably looked a little bit better if it was 10 to 15 years from now.
And I was telling Hopper when we left the movie theater, the best way I can explain this kind of thought process for me is Willy Wonka and the Charlie Factory into Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. What was that, 20, 25 years later? Something like that?
I think the first one was like in the 70s, so it would have been like 70, 80, 90, like 40 years.
Yeah, 40. So something like that, right? Where I remember watching the second one, like the Johnny Depp one, and my mom saying, if you like this one, you would really love the original because it's so much better. And I was like, I don't think so. This movie's great. And I wanted that for like my kids, as an introduction to it's like 10 years from now, they're like, oh my God, Dad, this movie's so great. It's so awesome. And I would watch it and appreciate it for being a live action, but be like, it's got nothing on the original. Yeah. Right now, I think it's just a little too early. I liked it because it was so 1-to-1. Yeah. I think, like Hopper says, and we'll talk about this later, there's a few lines that they pulled from the animated that, first of all, were bad in the animated, but even worse when you try to do it live action. Yeah. But other than that, I don't have many gripes with this movie. The only reason it's a 7.5 for me is just I think it needed more time before you even make the movie to begin.
First one is generational. I mean, that animated movie is like one of the best. It's one of the best DreamWorks movies. It's one of the best animated movies. Yeah. I think it's and it came out of nowhere for me. It was like a surprise hit. Yes. So I remember thinking like, oh, it's kind of a cute thing. It looks maybe like a sort of whatever. Jay Baruchel's voice is kind of annoying. Yeah. But then you watch it and you're like, this is peak, bro. Holy crap.
I don't realize how much I enjoyed it until they made banger after banger.
Oh, yeah. They keep getting better, too. It's crazy.
And that's why I told Hopper, I was asking him to set up this question. I was like, do you think, you guys feel free to answer this question in the comments as well. I asked Hopper before the movie started, I said, do you think Lord of the Rings is like one of, if not the best trilogy of all time, right? Because I would put my opinion out there to get eviscerated on social media and stuff and say that How to Train Your Dragon is one of, if not the best trilogy of all time ever created. You know what I mean? Right up there, and honestly, shoot me for saying it, right up there with The Matrix, right up there with Lord of the Rings. I think the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is just that good. It's generational, like you said.
I think the Star Wars trilogy is in that conversation, too. The first three. You're not a big fan of those movies. I like the first one and the second one like a lot. No. See, the third one, though, does have some dips. Like, I don't... Yeah. The third one's got, like... A good second half with Darth Vader and Luke, but like the rest of it I could give or take.
It took, I think, like the third time I watched the old ones, I was just like, these don't hit like I thought they did.
They do hit, and I'd like you to hit that like button and subscribe button. Hi, Hopper from Editing here, and I'm here to remind you that this video is actually part of a larger podcast. You can watch the full podcast if you are a channel member of the Binge Warmers, and it's also on Spotify. That link is down below. And if you're enjoying this live action How to Train Your Dragon review, we've also got a review of the live action Lilo and Stitch. and we actually ranked all of Disney's live-action remakes. So check those out if you want. Okay, back to the video. I'm going to tell you my biggest gripes. My gripes with the movie, the acting was god-awful.
Yeah.
Like, I think Hiccup, whoever that kid was bad. And I feel so bad about saying, like, they're not, like, children actors.
You hate critiquing semi-kid actors,
right?
You know?
And I like, this is a tough position to be in. We talk about this with, like, Robin Williams and Will Smith in the Genie role. It's hard to be, because I've already got these characters I've fallen in love with in these 3 movies that I don't want to change at all. But so, like, I don't know, there's no differences. But in that elevates their performances, right?
Like you
makes
have
them,
to give a great performance,
right?
Because they're following in great performances.
It's like a direct comparison between how you did this versus, like,
exactly
the better performance in the cartoon.
Exactly.
Because, you know, you get, like, case in point, he's like, when they're flying turd around the first time.
Yeah.
That's a joke from The Office.
So this is Astrid.
Astrid.
Oh, okay.
There's a part, so when they're flying her around and everything, he's like, oh, now we're spinning. Thank you for nothing, you stupid reptile. And this, he's literally like, thank you for nothing, you stupid reptile. It was like a high school play version of the acting, you know what I mean?
And his acting, like when Gerard Butler reprises his role as the chief, when he pushes his son down in the movie, he like, throws his whole body down. He throws himself harder than he was pushed. And I was just like, come on, man, is this a high school reenactment of
exactly,
this? What's going on?
And like, I don't know, maybe that's just because it's like in animation he could be so much bigger.
Yeah.
But in this, it's like just Gerard Butler's just a guy. I mean, he's a big guy, but he's like a guy.
But he's not the chief from
he's
the
not
original.
Stoic the Vast.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But
which he tried his hardest, which I think.
He was
Gerard
one of the
Butler
better.
Stoic was the better.
Definitely, he was one of the better performances in the film. I think him and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
But Nick Frost looked very cartoon.
Yes.
Like, if you're doing live action, at least make him look like he's in a real world.
Yeah. Sorry to say that one actor, I don't know how they tragically got someone who looks 1-to-1 as him.
Tough Nut or Rough Nut or
yeah,
whatever.
I was just like, there's no way they got someone who actually looks like the animated version of him.
Yeah. You got the kid who plays in the Hunt for the Wilder People and Deadpool 2 to be like the big chubby guy.
That worked, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe
of the side characters, I think he was the strongest.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But that's kind of putting down the other side characters because they were not doing very much.
Yeah.
And we talked about it leaving the theater that, you know, they didn't ruin the movie, but it's like they didn't give me anything. Like, I think I walked out of this movie just feeling very like empty. Like, this was not the version I liked.
Yeah.
The music was still very good. Like, all the dragons look spectacular.
It was still directed by the same guy who did the original.
Like
I was
Dan
very
DeBlois
happy for that.
Or whatever it was. I think Chris Sanders helped in the first one too, which did Lilo and Stitch.
I liked that. I would go so far to say I liked Astrid in this. Okay. I know you didn't really care for her that much.
It was just the line delivery and the acting. I don't know if the direction was off. The guy comes from animation, so he might not be used to directing like facial acting or whatever. It felt very Disney Channel original, much like Lilo and Stitch.
I think for me, it was just because I've seen her in other things and I've not really liked her.
Dumbo, right?
Yeah, Dumbo. She was in
Last of Us, maybe?
The Last of Us, the first season. She's been in a few things, and I've just not really liked her as an actress. So I didn't think I would like her in this. And then I watched it, and I was like, you know what? She did pretty good. Because Astrid in the first movie, I kind of did not like her, which was good. That's how they wanted you to do it.
Yeah.
And when she was doing it, I was like, man, she's really selling the not like her part. You know what I mean? But in a good way. You know, not bad acting-wise, but like just in a good way.
I thought they were bad actors.
But when she landed and she goes, go. And I was like, you started laughing, and I was like, okay, that shouldn't have been in the original. You definitely shouldn't have kept it in the new one.
My favorite was like, punch, that's for getting me in trouble. Kiss, and that's for saving my life.
Yeah.
It's like, shut the f*** up. People make fun of that all the time on social media.
So
like that specific thing.
You laugh because they did it the first time in the woods, and I was like, okay, maybe that doesn't translate that well. And then I like the one at the end because it has the prior one, but you were like, it makes it even worse because they've done it not once but twice in the movie.
I was laughing out loud. I thought, you should, like, you're so tone deaf to not know that that's a corny ass line. Yeah. You should not be putting it in.
But hey, maybe the guy maybe it was his line. You know, I don't care what they say. I'm keeping it in here.
It's not like inherently a bad line. It's just like whenever you see people being like, this is what MCU dialogue sounds like, or like this is what like
yeah, dude, millennial writing.
Yes, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like that's but like, hey, it's your movie. You can change different stuff.
Yeah,
if it doesn't work in live action, you can change it.
There was one thing we both caught as soon as it happened. Mm-hmm. There's a scene in the animated movie where this little dragon goes to mess with Toothless, and Toothless spits a fireball in his mouth.
Yeah,
and Hiccup's like, fireproof on the outside, not so much on the inside. And they don't have that scene in the live action. We didn't catch it until the end when he shoots the fireball into the big dragon's mouth, and you go, because you'd gone to the bathroom, you're like, did I miss the part where they did this first to set this up? And I was like, They didn't have that in the movie. This makes no sense now.
I mean, that's not like a huge sin, but like comparing it to the original,
CinemaSins would have it as a sin.
yeah, they would. But they didn't they didn't set up that part. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Also, visual effects wise, like the dragons look very good.
They look really good.
I did notice the green screen though. Like
Yeah.
whenever he was on the dragon and it was him like acting on the dragon, I could definitely tell he was on the screen.
I didn't notice that.
There was like the backgrounds looked all like, you know, green screened in, and you could kind of tell, and it wasn't like the worst thing ever, but like, and that first flight in the original is so amazing.
So good.
It may be DreamWorks' best scene.
And I didn't realize until someone put it on a reel, and I was just like, oh my God, am I going to rewatch this movie tonight? You know what I mean?
It's like the most emotion. It's like he's got his
dude.
little thing, and it's like a character moment because he's got his little sheet, and he's like, okay, position A, I'm a nerd, you know.
Yeah,
and then it just flies out, and he's like, oh, fuck it, I got this. I'm confident. And, you know, just flying around.
Yeah.
Music soar, hits. It just didn't hit the same
when
way.
he pulls out his wings, and then it crescendos with the music, dude. One of the best soundtracks. I'm just like, I could go jump off a building and fly right now. I would do it.
The music's pretty much the same. I don't even know if they redid
They
like
probably
a
just
thing.
copy and pasted it over.
Could have. I wouldn't have noticed if they did.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty much the same.
I mean, but it was fine. The dragons, I was so impressed that the dragons look good. Because
Love the big
we're hot
dragon.
off of Lilo and Stitch's
Oh God.
abysmal alien graphics.
Yeah.
To
I guess,
this.
I guess DreamWorks doesn't have a streaming site that they were going to just dump that on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they
this
were
was
like,
made for the theaters. I assume
yeah,
they had
we're
a
like,
big budget.
we'll do better than Disney. And they did. In my opinion, this is better than, I told Hopper, better than what we reviewed 15 live actions. I'd say better than at least 11 of them.
I think right off the top of my head, I preferred not Cruella. Maleficent and Jungle Book right off the top of my head.
I was saying Maleficent, Jungle Book, maybe Beauty and the Beast, and maybe Cinderella. I think it'd be actually on par with Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast.
I don't know if I respect it more or less for like going like dialogue for dialogue. Because like in The Lion King, they do scene for scene, but like change up the dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue's completely different.
It gets way cornier.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like updated, but it doesn't feel as fresh.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know, like the dialogue from the old ones feel more timeless for whatever reason. But in this, it's basically the same. And then that's where you get your direct comparisons like, Dad, I hunt dragons. It's what I do. It's in my DNA. Versus like, Dad, I hunt dragons. That's in my DNA. Like he's putting on a big show. This kid couldn't give a You know what I mean? He felt like a cardboard cutout.
He really did.
No offense to that child.
Yeah, that child. Which I don't think he was a kid because the actress that played Astrid is at least 20. So.
I was getting about 20.
Yeah,
from
20, something like that. I liked it though. They did finally what I asked them to do. I just, again, you can never be happy. Do it later, man.
Yeah.
Do it. If it was Shrek, maybe then. You know what I mean?
Do not remake Shrek in live action.
Don't do it. But if you were to do a DreamWorks live action, maybe go further. Do Ants. You know? What the I'm trying to find a further back one. Do Ants.
Road to El Dorado or some.
Oh my God!
They're just people in that. You don't
Who
have to
would
make
they
them a
pick
big
as
thing.
the baddie? You know
I don't know, but she's about to be
Sofia
popular.
Vergara.
She's a little too old, but I could see it.
I could go for it, big dog. Shakira.
She's just like, she got her little like armadillo.
Well, her hips don't lie. You know, they gotta hit the ball. You know. We would like to take a second and thank the two members of our channel. They are Glenn F, which is Glavin, thank you, and Chevy God S55 something or other. Hop Gavin, you know who you are. Thank you so much. If you'd like to be a member, the link is going to be in the description. So do that if you like. If
hit
not,
the
also
join
no
button
pressure.
as well there on the bottom.
Yeah.
We are doing trailer reactions. We're doing the full edited version of our podcast where we also
free to members. Yep.
Free to members. You can also hear Steven cuss. He cusses a lot during these videos.
Oh, you don't bleep it there?
No.
Yeah.
It's bleeped in this, but it's not going to be bleeped.
Thank you for another edit. I appreciate you.
But no, yeah, join the membership, guys. If we get to 5 members this week, Steven is going to
or just when we get to 5 members, I'll do it.
Yeah, you're going to read Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man. That's like 20 issues apparently.
But ish. I don't know. I haven't listened to it.
So yeah, thank you for our members and thank you for all the subscribers as well. Thank you to anyone who watches the channel.
Back to the review. I guess just the question I'll pose to you in the audience is like, why do this?
Yeah.
Just because kids...
I think for me, it's a new medium. It's a different medium to do it in. I want the one-to-one story, but in a... Because like I said before, we always want a fan cast of what a live action would be, but they didn't really fan cast that well.
I mean, there's just kids in this, so it's like... I never know... I never talk about Ben 10. Like, I never know a kid for Ben 10.
Tom Holland.
You play 10-year-old Ben easy.
Grandpa Max would be Benedict Cumberbatch.
What?
Yeah. Or Chris Pratt. Take your pick.
It would be John Goodman would be like the Reddit fan casting for that.
Oh, I guess so. Not Tommy Lee Jones, maybe?
No, he's bigger. He would be...
Yeah.
Even though I know he's lost weight, John Goodman.
Yeah, he really has, actually.
I think... I don't know. That's my big beef is just kind of like why.
Why?
And like with Charlie and Chocolate, we talked about the Charlie and Chocolate Factory versus Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
At least they had different versions of Willy Wonka.
It was like
Johnny
Tim
Depp was
Burton's-
completely different.
Yeah, it was like Tim Burton's take on it. Johnny Depp played it different. It was sort of an updated like visual version. Like it was more.
Less musical.
Yeah. Oh, there was some music, but it wasn't like.
Yeah, but you
a
didn't
mus-
say, I
yeah.
got a golden ticket.
It was
or his
more-
mom singing or anything like that.
It was more like Oompa Loompa doing different decades of music, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
interesting. Even that's like a choice. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I would prefer you make creative choices like that than to just do
Yeah.
1-to-1. Even though like this is better than the other ones, it's just kind of like why. You know?
Why, yeah.
I think I say why to all of them though too. So
Yeah.
it's almost like what's the point?
But we've also said we want movies that people say, why did we ask for that? You want a movie that you haven't asked for because then you may like it.
But
So
no-
you're asking why are we having this? Because
But then you go on to say like we have fan castings that we want these movies to
Yeah.
be made. I think that's the problem, right? Like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah.
People asked for that for years.
and it's garbage.
Garbage.
Even.
From a butt.
From a butt, not even a human butt, maybe like a hippopotamus.
From a donkey's ass.
Because they spray that.
They like spread it with their tails too.
Yeah, it's wild. They chop it like salt.
Anyway, I don't know, man. If you find a good way to do it, and even if like you want to do a 1-to-1, but the director has come out and said like publicly like he doesn't like the live action remakes because they changed so much. And they're like, oh, we're gonna do this with or without you. He's like, well, I'll do it then, and I'll just do the same thing again.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that's I guess
He's like,
an
if you're
option.
gonna make it, I'll make it so you don't f it up.
Yeah, and this is getting pretty positive reviews. I think I saw
Yeah.
78% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's about where I'm sitting, 78 to maybe 85 range
yeah.
for me.
Also, the second movie is in pre-production already.
I'm hopeful they keep Kit Harington.
Oh yeah,
Like Kit Harington just shows up as the guy he played. I think that'd be funny.
that could be funny.
And I like Kit Harington as an actor. I know he's gone on to say he misses. I think he missed his window. He's like kind of typecasted as like a quiet, stoic kind of guy because of Game of Thrones, and he wants to be a more outspoken, not necessarily funny, but more personable kind of actor. So I hope he gets that shot with different roles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
I think every actor deserves at least a couple against type roles
Yeah,
to kind
exactly.
of prove their point.
Who played the bad guy in the second one? I know he was famous.
It's the guy who plays. He says who in Guardians. The
Oh, it's Digimon Hansu.
yes, Digimon Hansu, or I think it's just Jamon Hansu.
I always say
Digimon-
I always say Digimon. Because at one point I
Digimon-
was like, Dijon Hansu? I was like, no, that's the mustard. No. Oh, what if he comes back as just him?
I wish he got more opportunities. He's a really good actor, and I
Yeah.
feel like he doesn't get very many choices because he just kind of gets put in like bit parts and like
Yeah.
big franchises. But I like him a lot. I think he should do more stuff.
Yeah. He was in that Gran Turismo movie if you ever watch it.
He was.
Yeah, he was the dad. It's a really good movie.
He's in that terrible Zack Snyder Star Wars ripoff thing, and I was like, man, why'd you got to pick
Rebel
this one?
Moon?
Yeah, he's in Rebel Moon.
I mean, he's in that terrible Aragon movie too.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
God, this guy needs
he's the
some good
leader of the
opportunities.
rebel resistance. He's actually got a big role in the book, and
Oh.
you see him maybe for like 2 minutes.
Damn.
In the movie, dude.
Get this man a new agent. Get him some new
Yeah,
roles. You know
get him
what I mean?
the leading role.
Yes, please.
But no, I would love him as the main bad guy again.
Absolutely,
That'd be
for sure.
sick. His yells, dude, were sick.
I think he's got a great voice. man.
That cracked me up. He's like, let me show you the real power of a dragon. He starts screaming, dude.
He had like the power of the alpha or something, man. He was
Yeah,
so
he
cool.
controlled the alpha and stuff.
What's your favorite How to Train Your Dragon film?
We've tried to discuss this before, and I think it's 2.
I say 2.
But number 3, by the end of it, the ending is just so
It's perfect.
so good, man.
I love the
But number 2 probably
I just love that
gun
like
to my head. I'd have to say 2.
so the dragons took Hiccup's mom,
Yeah,
and his own dragon kills his dad.
yeah.
It's like this crazy like you should hate dragons, you know? What I
Yeah.
mean? Like you should
And
be
then you don't.
anti-dragon, and then you still like her so sweet and you love dragons, and it's just like not his fault, and you understand that. It's just perfect, man. It's
Yeah.
perfect. What's your favorite design of the dragons from these movies? I love that. Like,
Is it
one with
lame
the-
to say Hiccup?
Toothless?
I mean, Toothless.
I don't think it's lame. He's a good design.
I've always liked, because I like the power fantasy, but I also like looking sleek.
Yeah.
So like I call like Egress from Solo Leveling. He's a powerhouse, but he's sleek.
He is very fast though. Like I forgot that was part of his. We're doing like a
Yes.
DreamWorks bracket. We'll
Yeah.
do that next week on the podcast.
Yeah.
But people were saying in the comments like he's too fast to fight Shrek or whatever, and I'm like, is he though? But then
He's-
watching this, I'm like, oh yeah, he's
fast.
really quick.
He's a Night Fury, you know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
I really like Toothless for that, and I know it's main character thing, but I like
Sure.
that. I really like the alphas. I think the alphas are
Alphas are
sick,
very cool.
dude.
And this
they have,
one-
like big tusked mammoth like ones.
yeah, I liked the sense of scale was pretty good in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got to see the Snotlock or
Yeah.
Snotlout on top of him. It felt good, like it was a good kind of Gareth Edwards like scale moment almost.
Stoic had his own type dragon too. I think I like that one a lot too.
That was good. I also like the mom's dragon, like the big owl
Yeah.
kind of guy with his
Yeah.
horns and stuff.
Sick.
I love that one.
Yeah, no, there's so many cool, interesting dragons in this movie or in this
Yeah.
series. I'd hope so. Being
At the end of the day, I would love to go to Universal Orlando Resorts and go to Islands of Adventure and ride on the How to Train Your Dragon ride.
You mean like Universal Studios? Yeah.
Sick reference, dog.
Sick. Everyone knows you. That's the sickest reference.
Sick references. All right, guys. We'll look in the comments. Do you guys like this movie? Do you dislike it? Do you want them to do something different, or just do a 1-to-1 like this? I appreciate the comments. I genuinely do want to know. It's a very interesting topic. This
Yeah.
whole thing.
Also, get your hats from Burger King.
And go to Universal Orlando
Yeah,
Studios.
yeah. Someone sponsor us, please.